Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. We could not have you all without a program this evening. How are you folks doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. We're happy that you all are here with us. Desiree Felix, Troy Fraser, Ingrid, Elise, Leon, Marlon, Beatrice, Humi, and all the other folks who are joining us this evening. Great to have each and every one of you on the live tonight. We can ring that bell one time for you. It's Friday, folks, Friday night. How are you folks doing out there? How was the week? We hope that you guys from Monday, all you hit the ground running, folks, and you are comfortable where you are in the week. Currently, the weekend is upon us, and we hope that you guys rest and recuperate, refire. We're retiring. None of that. We're refiring, but good to have all of you with us. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, folks, we got a couple of things we want to share with you, beautiful, wonderful folks, and then we're out of your hair so you can go ahead and have a fantastic weekend. Rest, recuperation, some time with the family, some time with the friends. You all know how it goes. How y'all are doing? How y'all are doing? We're trying to put this election behind us, but it's not allowing us. We're trying to put it behind us for so many reasons, but it's not allowing us. How are y'all folks doing? Please tell us. Please tell us. Let's start on a high note. Let's start on a very high note. We saw Eden Corbin, the new host of Nation Watch. They're going to be on Sunday, just after lunch. But in the recent broadcast, I think it was Attorney Roland Daniels who spoke to the fact this party is going to rebound and redound and get better. Women and youth and everybody in between. Take a look and take a listen as we begin tonight, folks. Thanks for joining our broadcast. As we begin tonight.
The PNCR has been the target of attacks even after the elections. Ganesh Mahipal said that there has been more attention on the 12 people going to Parliament than on the others from the other parties. Attorney Ronald Daniels, one of the new members, said that there are also dissatisfied party members.
Had we won all 65 seats, there would have still been disgruntled persons. Because as you've said just now, and as the leaders repeated to us, that there will always be more people than there are positions. What we don't have in our political space is political maturity. And quite unfortunately, that spreads across the political spectrum.
He said that there are other important roles. At the same time, there are organizations that are necessary to train future leaders.
You've just mentioned the YSM, the Youth Socialist Movement, and then we have the Women Revolutionary Socialist Movements. Now, these are ideological training grounds for persons who are intent on tangibly contributing to the political space, because, like Thomas Sankara said, a soldier or a police without an ideology is a criminal with a gun.
Daniels said that a lot of the younger people should try to understand and to grow through the systems in place.
Our chief aspiration when we come into the political space should be to be a team player. To contribute towards the growth and the success of that team. And you have to be able to occupy until whatever space you occupy, you have to maximize in that space you occupy and occupy it with distinction.
Ganesh Mahipal said that even the organizations rooted in the PNCR have undergone change.
Those two organizations that are subsets of the PNC and the PNCR now, they have also matured or metamorphosed into changes that were effective for modernization. Like the YSM moved from being the YSM to GYSM. It's now the Guyana Youth and Student Movement, because it aimed towards incorporating society as it was changing.
It did have those ideological.
The ideological principle, though, remain. The WRSM moved to the NCW, the National Congress of Women.
He said that the PNCR will transition into a better political force.
Yeah, there's a Greek philosopher that says the only constant in life is change. Yeah, the only constant in life, the only thing you guarantee about is change. Good, bad. There's no standing in the middle. Change. The only constant, good folks, is change. How you all doing? Good to have so many of you on the live tonight. Good to see Andrew Griffith, our brother. Good to have you there, Mandy, Jennifer. Good to have all of you, Norma, Lynette Finance. Good to have. We couldn't go into the weekend without giving you guys your political fix. Could not. We want to run a couple of things by you guys we've seen throughout the day, perhaps the last 48, 72 hours that we think you ought to know about. Our thoughts and prayers go out as we begin tonight. Our thoughts and prayers go out with this 13-year-old young man's family from the diaspora. We're going to circle back to this issue about the National Assembly and MPs and some strong comments they had about the performance of the Public Accounts Committee. We are going to circle back to that. But this young man, 13 years old, they're telling us, shot outside a restaurant in Queens, New York, a Dunkin' Donuts restaurant in Queens, New York, and his name is Sanjay Samuel, 13 years old. 13 years old. My big son is out. Well, yeah, my big son is out there in the diaspora. Our two first kids, they're in the diaspora. And every time I get a call, I say, Lord, trepidation. I don't know why. But our thoughts and our prayers with Sanjay Samuel and his family. May his soul rest in peace. Shot in the head outside this Dunkin' Donuts in Queens, New York. They said he was standing with friends while an assailant on a scooter opened fire. Police believe that this was a targeted attack, and they have identified a person of interest in this shooting incident, but we're told that no arrests have been made as yet. His grieving parents, described Samuel as a joyful person and said they intend to donate his organs. Sanjay Samuel, gone at 13. Our thoughts and our prayers, right? Our thoughts and our prayers are with the family. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the family. Good to have all of you there. Tyler Paul, thanks for your kind comments. Thank you so much for your very kind comments there. Tyler Paul, thank you. He said, Shed, you're a well-read person, and it's a good choice as MP. Thank you so much. And for distracting me as well. Folks, Donald is back. The Donald is back. How are y'all doing? Donald has come out very, very conveniently. Very conveniently. The Donald. Yeah. Sometimes I forget Donald was president, We're being told that former President Donald Ramotar addressed a pro-Palestinian gathering outside of GECOM headquarters quite recently and urged member states to sever diplomatic ties with Israel over its military actions in the Gaza. Yeah. Donald doing a lot of things. The former president compared the cause to global boycotts against apartheid South Africa and said the region should support boycott, divestment, and sanctions. BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions supported in the Palestinian cause. And he urged an end to the Gaza conflict. Yeah, believe it or not. He urged an end to the Gaza conflict at the United Nations. And again, lots of people got lots of opinion on this very, very protracted issue. But here's the former president saying, boycott Israel. Boycott Israel on this pro-Palestinian support there. So you're watching that. The Donald is out. What has Donald been doing all this time? Thoughts and prayers for the Israelis and Palestinians in this conflict. How we say we can put war behind us? Yep. Look, this other story following. The both sides strike has been called off. I saw Team Mohammed claiming A win here, no pun intended. T. Mohammed claiming a win. They said we went and talked to the workers and we instructed government to fix this problem. But we have had so many wins over the last 5 years in that regard. We've been in front as a parliamentary opposition, in front of so many issues that got rectified, by government, and we will continue to make our voices heard. We will. So folks, this, of course, as you know, this strike started a couple days ago, and the Ministry of Labor tells us that after their mediation, they ain't got a fight win on this. After their mediation, the workers of the Bauxite Bauxite Company in Linden agreed to resume duties and to begin conciliation talks next week. Thank you, News Source, for bringing us up to speed with this piece of reporting. The terms of resumption for the bauxite workers state that the union must call up the strike immediately and ensure that workers return to work by today, which has happened, and to prohibit victimization and to begin conciliation at the Ministry of Labor on September 29th. So we'll look to see how that pans out. But I want you folks to know that the strike was triggered by wage dispute. It's always money. Show me the money. Show me the money. I want to see the money. I want to see the money of the servants over the next few months. Wage dispute. The union has been seeking an 8% raise while the company offered 7%. The company offered 7%. And we told only in terms of the resumption terms, the company agreed that there be no victimization of workers. I don't think they'd want to go down that road. May end badly. No victimization of workers. They made a pledge. And no sooner had we seen that being done, today, another mining company in Region 10, G Mining, their workers down the tools as well. You know, here's a quick clip. You got to watch it good. It's going to go by so fast. I want to thank the Region 10 Vice Chairman, Mark Goring, for posting this. It's a quick clip. Quick clip. All right, that is some of what went on there as that strike action commenced today. I did say a quick clip. You blink, it is gone. Take another look, quick. Yeah, that strike action commencing there of the G Mining company. This is a Canadian-owned company. The workers, as I said, launched an industrial action. Grievances, of course. People don't strike over nice time. Unpaid salaries, poor working conditions. And again, this is according to a citizens report that we saw shared by the Region 10 Vice Chairman, Mr. Mark Goring. Grievances. You know, people say people don't run from good. They don't run from good. They don't. Employees, according to this citizens report, thanks to Mark Goring, allege that they have not been paid for 14 days of work. And employees at G Mining also complained about the poor quality of meals provided at the work site. Come on, you don't mess with men food. You're looking for trouble. Poor quality of the food. You know, the workers say that promises were made by the company officials. Promises that were made have not materialized. Like they're working for government, have not materialized, leaving them frustrated, and they're determined to press for fair compensation and better treatment. We could all use some of that. In these difficult times, we could all use some fair compensation and better treatment. And then we saw the regional vice chairman post as well that the HR manager, the human resource manager, and the country manager for G Mining were in fact on the ground there trying to, what's the term? Assuage. Oh, I get it right. Assuage the situation. Right? Assuage the situation. And it reported they were making empty promises to the workers. That sounds very familiar in this country. They were making empty promises. Come on, G Mining. Come on, Bosai. Remains to be seen whether the Ministry of Labor will intervene in the G Mining workers down in the tools like they did in the incident of Bosai. Let's see how that goes. We got 52 issues to raise with you. About 52 issues to raise with you. We saw former Minister Winston Jordan raise this issue about rice production as against the price slump that sector finds itself in. Right? He is advising that Ghana should scale back rice production due to the depressed global prices. Have you folks been following this? Have you folks been following this? Like sugar, the world market it's not a rice market currently. Depressed global prices. They said the focus should be on diversification. You all know like how them boys say they can open up all them estates, Diamond Estate and Wales Estate, Sugar Estates. Not one and open yet. Now they say they're going into corn and soya production and hemp. Diversification. That's what former Minister Jordan raised. Not particularly in those areas, but diversification nonetheless. He said small farmers should be advised to plant crops with stronger markets and warned that increasing production without storage could worsen the gluts we're facing in the sector. And he urged that government should provide timely market information and invest in value-added rice products while helping marginal farmers to transition to other crops. And that is what the APNU AFC government did for the sugar workers. Right? Sugar don't fetch the high price it used to anymore in the world market. And so the then government, APNU AFC, began to retrain and retool. As though the same thing people come to. Boil down to low gravy. You say, yeah, plant hemp. This sugar thing I'm working out. Plant soya, plant corn. It's not the same thing. Oh, the hypocrisy. Oh, the hypocrisy. Oh, the hypocrisy. I can leave Foreign Minister Jordan to tell you all the rest. Oh, the hypocrisy, Kim Walker. Sherwin Barrington. Norma Brown. Oh, the hypocrisy. Fed up with the whole pack of them. Share this damn life, folks. Let others get the valid and credible information. Thank you, Former Minister Jordan, for not just hanging up your gloves, but to keep us informed and keep us on track. Keep giving good guidance on these economic and other matters. Thank you so much for that. Please and thank you. We got 10,000 things to share. I wonder if we can look back and think, my God, we're so backwards. Burning all this ganja. I know some of you, it's a very sensitive issue for some folks. Tremendously sensitive issue for some folks. But I don't say this lightly. Look, CARICOM produced a significant piece of research on this issue. And I had the privilege when I did a bill concerning we should have small custodial sentences for people who are found with marijuana. Going through that piece of research, tremendous piece of scholarship that went into that. The bottom line is the science seems to have overtaken the taboo surrounding marijuana use. I haven't tried it yet, but that doesn't say I can't pronounce on it, and understand it as a person who try to live good old Christian values and understand what sacrament is, and to see the importance of it to our Rastafarian brothers and sisters. So I was wondering as we saw this headline, whether we can look back and think, my God, because instead of burning it, some countries have mastered the thing in terms of its medicinal values and properties, and are reaping a windfall. Some companies got oil and coal and bauxite like us, but they got ganja. And it's playing an important role in their economy. I want to underscore, while it is illegal, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I'm not saying bypass all of that and do what you got to do. It remains a prohibitive narcotic. Is it classified as a narcotic? Whatever it is. You get the point. $61 million worth of it was burnt quite recently. 61 million destroyed at a farm in a place called Lowood on the Demra River. Never went there, ain't going there. Anyone said a minute. Lowood in the Demra River, they said they burnt about 1,500 cannabis plants and 150 pounds of dried cannabis, valued at, of course, you see there in the graphic, $61 million. Are we going to look back and say, God, we're backward? Remember one time we thought the world was flat as a humanity, and if you go too far, you could fall off the edge. I was like, now we're going to look back and say, God, we're backward, boy. Oh, Father. We're a little backward, you know. Yeah. The officers who stumbled upon this camp and burned this 61 million in marijuana also found a 12-gauge shotgun in the bush. Right? And of course, you see the graphic there. The camp and the plant set ablaze. And as per normal, listen to this. As per normal, no rest. Right? So that camp just cultivating itself. No arrest. I remember a poem by the late great Martin Carter, a national poet, right? That says, one day the books will write themselves. The cannabis like it planted itself too. You know, unwritten histories of the human heart, he says. Who knows? One day the books will write themselves. The ganja farms planted themselves. The 12-gauge shotgun, cut the 12-gauge shotgun legs and just walked over there to the farm. No arrests were reported. No arrests were made. $61.7 million in marijuana burnt. I know some of y'all are sensitive. Y'all are the other side of this issue. You know, but we can agree to disagree. That's all right. That's how people do it in democratic societies. You put your ideas, I put mine, and we go down the road. Talk about illegal substances, narcotics, and so on. 30 pounds of cocaine. Now, this is the one I make a joke with. This is the one. Right? No, science and overtake nothing here now. 30 pounds of cocaine seized during a charity operation, an operation of charity in the Essequibo Coast. 13 parcels of cocaine today, weighing 14.836 kg. Close to 30 pounds discovered there. One person arrested and taken into custody by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. The packages were weighed in the suspect's presence, and they tell us that the investigation is ongoing. You know what I find? I don't know if you all find it. I see you all say the white girl and so on. You know what I find? You're always finding the small man. The 2 ounce, the 30 pounds. Right? But the 4 tons. As is a feature with those burning of the marijuana fields and so on. More often than not, no arrest made. The people see the coming and run away. You know in the streets what I mean. I ain't gonna tell you nothing. You know in the streets, Susan, Annette, Yvette, Wilma, Linda, Gana nowadays, Desiree. All right. Y'all know the whole thing. Happy Friday, folks. Happy to have all of you here. Y'all know the whole thing. What would a day be in this country if something didn't go up in flames? You hear about Lowood? Crabwood now. Crabwood Creek fire. 9 homeless. 9. An electrical fire destroyed a wooden house at Crabwood Creek under quarantine, leaving one Shaniza Yusuf and her husband and their 7 children homeless. Thoughts and prayers with them. Things are tight in this country now, you lose your house. What more? What more? What more? Right? The report says that the family lost everything in this fire, and they're sheltering with neighbors while appealing for assistance. The fire is still being investigated. Crabwood Creek on the quarantine. 7 homeless. Yeah. 7 homeless. Father of his mercies. Father of his mercies. Then we come to GECOM. The shenanigans of GECOM. My gosh. My gosh. We're being told a 30-year-old employee of GECOM's, the Kimby Gittins, she's been remanded on larceny charges and said to have stolen more than $5 million. I see conflicting reports, millions and billions. You know, we do billions here like we used to do millions last year. Right? Billions is the new millions. $5 million, we told that was part of payment for election day staff. Right? And this money was at the GECOM's Commission's Secretariat, Barrack and 4th Street, Kingston. We told that Gittin, she's an assistant accountant. Right? She was arrested on September 22nd. But here's where this thing take a turn. She paid before Magistrate Fabio Azores 2 days ago, remanded to prison. But as I said, here's where this thing take a turn, because some folks are telling us GECOM seem to be friends, family, and favorites. Friends, family, and favorites. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say that? They said persons in the department were arrested, but that the department head, who was on the premises at the time, he has not been questioned. We told that staff who were arrested, they had their home search, but that the department head, who was on the premises at the time the money allegedly went missing, he did not have his home subjected to a search. And this is one chief accountant, Ajodia Ramcharan. But here's where this story take a turn. We're being told that Ramcharan was involved in a similar incident, and I use involved in uplifted commas. In a similar incident, right? Ajodia Ramcharan apparently also worked at one time for the Ghana Gold Board, right? Money was discovered missing there, and Ramcharan resigned, even though it was said the resignation and the allegation of the missing millions at the Ghana Gold Board didn't have any connection, right? Didn't have any connection. He was at the Gold Board when the millions went missing and resigned. The chairman of the Gold Board at that time, one Gabriel Lal, had told the media, as I said, that the resignation was not directly related to the fraud at the Gold Board, but stemmed from the Gold Board's own lack of confidence in Ramcharan's work. One would find it strange that this kind of incident seemed to follow Ramcharan's work assignments. Again, I'm not saying at all Ramcharan had any hand in it, but it's such a coincidence, isn't it? It is such a coincidence. Yeah. But that aside, people in this country are presumed innocent, right? Until proven guilty in a competent court. But what people are pointing out is what seems to be the double standards that obtains at the Ghana Elections Commission. You know, you think we'd be talking about Ghana Elections Commission as reforming the commission, implementing the recommendations that those international observer missions had, and so on? No. Missing money. Missing monies. My God. And look where you bring this institution to. Huh? Vishnu, Look where you bring this institution to. Anil, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful. I see they put a halt to this supermarket that was being put up on Brick Dam. Central Housing Authority said they served them notice about this unauthorized supermarket construction. Now, I just wonder, when do those inspectors go out? When you take a look at that supermarket, it gone a far away. They didn't just went and buy a door. The thing gone a far away. A far away. You know? And now, when members of the public begin to speak out, then they run in like heroes. Oh, we have served an order to halt the construction of this supermarket at Lot 72 Brick Dam Street, Georgetown. Brick Dam, Georgetown. They said no planning permission had been issued and that an enforcement team from CHMPA, Central Housing and Planning Authority, visited the site, served the owner with notice of contravention, and reminded the developers that all constructions must be approved through the single window system at the agency. And then we did see later on this afternoon, I think it was, that 5 persons from that supermarket were arrested for continuing work after the stop order had been issued. You see the kind of cowboy country we have? You think you would dare pick up your bundle and go, let's say to China, and see you just opening something just like that? Let me lost you in jail. Lost you in. You didn't go to Uncle Sam country, Uncle Sam Donald country, and do that kind of stuff. You're on the next plane smoking. Next plane smoking is only here. People come, see the culture, anything goes, wild, wild west. And then they fit right in. Fit right in. So we could talk about transformation. If these simple things we can get right, where we going? Where we going? Who's we? Manik Chan now at the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development says she's putting together a task force. She's putting together a task force to fix utilities in schools. Right. Yeah. They say they had a meeting with Parag and Deodat and whoever else. It's a little belated, you know. It's a little belated. But what freaks me out is that these ministers are just showing how their predecessors didn't really do nothing. Their predecessors are wasting time. I think we might have the wrong photo. It's Parag who's pushing this initiative. So pretty doing all this time. You see, it just brings to mind, folks. I grew up reading somewhere, acceleration, movement is not the same as progress. I think your friends just tell you, look busy. You're not really doing anything productive, you know. Just look busy. You know, when your parents come home, you scatter. Look busy. Up and down, up and down. But they're really doing nothing. They're really doing nothing. After 5 years, we're going to come now and put a task force to fix utilities in school. What are we doing all this time? I don't think they're mindful how their colleagues looking thin. Maybe that's why Priya gone at local government and regional development. You know, Priya, I thought you working. I thought you working all this time, Priya. And you got little Sonia Parag showing you up. Right? They're aiming to address, listen to this, after what, 28 plus years in government now, chronic water and electricity problems. They should shame to put it on paper. Shame. Notice after they re-elected, they're going to fix the chronic water and electricity problems. 2 power ships later, the ministry has created a rapid response task force. How many billions we didn't put in education over the last 5 years? Billions upon billions. Billions upon billions. It may have been earmarked for education. It may have gotten into the political war chest for elections campaigning. They're going to fix the chronic water and electricity problems through this rapid response task force. You know, I remember reading an essay so many years ago. One of the phrases stuck out to me, that men use words of action to cloak inaction. Is them boys here. Task force, rapid response. And nothing really doing, you know. They're going to build some reservoirs now. They're going to run some wire. Knock 2 boards. Look busy, look busy, look busy. Look busy. Tell you how we coming in light, but they're coming in light, but attempting me. VPAC. VPAC, VPAC, VPAC. Forward movement, forward movement, forward movement. Gano. My God. Where are we going with this kind of behavior? I see people on Facebook aghast. 1 seat. 1 seat got we. But I believe if you make an arrangement with people, written or unwritten, you got to keep it. Are those days gone? When the word was your bond? You need a big contract in writing. A man say, I dare with you. The man may be telling everybody, I dare with you too, I dare with you, I dare with you. He didn't know, but he dare with himself. If you make a promise, an arrangement, an agreement, yeah, we got to fulfill it, man. I beg of you. Beg of you. Let us be men of our time. The late great poet Martin Carter said, men of our time. The more men of our time we are, the more our time is. Y'all can read some poetry, man. Just on Facebook all the time, sir. Y'all read it. Facebook poetry. The more men of our time we are. Well, y'all boy Gaspar, let us Gaspar and Linden run out. Deputy Mayor Dominic Blair, run behind me. Gaspar, me got no conflict of interest. People can sit at both the municipality and the regional level. I Gaspar minding people business. Huh? Dominic Gaspar don't want you to leave. I don't want you to go, Dominic. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. PAC. The PAC. Them boys promise democratic process. We can meet early. Every voice heard. We can meet often. Change up the whole quorum. Gail Teixeira. The bishop. The bishop was the chairman before he turned PPP of the, is it the Ethnic Relations Commission? Huh? The bishop changed the quorum. The thing hardly meets. Hardly met over the last 5 years. Why they didn't meet? Because PPP did not want the parliamentary opposition to get to their spending at 2020. 2020. And I see our friends in Win say, we coming to fix them. We gonna fix them. All right. You already term. You're better cocks than you crow. All right. Better cocks than you crow. We gonna fix them. Y'all know what y'all doing. All right. Okay. Okay, okay. As we end that, folks, as we end that, some interesting things happening. Some interesting things happening. I hope you all know I'm a disciple. Robocote. I'm a disciple. One of the 12. Thank you, Terence. The APNU parliamentary lead. 12. You got 12 here. I want you to know we can do a couple things different, you know. Watch me now. Samba politics. Watch me. Watch me. Dr. Terence Campbell sitting down with New Source quite recently. The 12, watch me. Shaking things up.
Dr. Terence Campbell has unveiled some of the changes that will come from the People's National Congress reform and from a partnership for national unity.
The PNCR used to have a social welfare department that would react whenever there was a crisis and provide help. And we haven't seen that in recent times. So you're going to see a party, the PNCR and the APNU, out in your communities, engaging with you. You're going to see a party, the PNCR and its coalition, the APNU, out providing assistance to the degree that we're able to do so.
He said that money will be crucial. Some of the initial efforts have resulted in increased engagements.
Results speak the best and speak the most. So once they start to see those results, and then we have an early test in local government election, I think people will get on board. They will get on board, but the work has to be done. Now, it'll be foolish of me to tell you every single thing that we're going to be doing.
He said that even with limited resources, the party has to show people that it can help.
What we must do for the next 5 years is identify ourselves as a government in waiting. That if the PNCR and the APNU are out of power and they're able to help, they show that they truly care. They truly care about us and they are able to help. Then we should give them a chance to see what they will do once they're in power.
There will have to be cooperation with the main opposition party.
I think what you're going to see is MPs who are well prepared for the task at hand, right? Preparation is going to be key. They're going to be informed. They're going to be well researched in their delivery. That's going to be demonstrated. So that's one way. The second way is being an MP gives you a platform to separate church and state, but sometimes it's hard. You know, I'm a Christian, and Jesus left 12 who changed the world. The 12 who are going to the Parliament of Guyana are going to change Guyana.
Yep. Y'all better talk to me differently. Y'all better talk to me differently. Go and say no more. Talk to me differently. Thank you, Dr. Terence Campbell. The lines for change had a presser today as we begin to wrap up. Now, this is a topic I'm very sensitive about, especially now. My feelings are very sensitive, right? Don't come around me funny at all. Very sensitive. Very sensitive about this topic right now. The lines for change had a presser today, and it was Cameron from the former leader, co-founder of the Lines of Change, who paint the picture of where the party is and what lies ahead. The Alliance for Change, the AFC. Who know? No, I ain't want to say anything else. Painted a picture today. Painted a picture. Right. Take a look and take a listen.
We have initiated our analysis of our present situation, and over the weekend, we will be engaging our broad membership on an analysis of our present situation and the way forward. As you are aware, we have received a letter from Mr. Nigel Hughes resigning as leader of the AFC. While we continue to engage Nigel, the chairman of the AFC, David Patterson, will be carrying out the functions of leader of the party. This is in keeping with our constitution. Nigel remains a member of the AFC. The leadership team, our members and supporters, hold him in the highest regard. As we rebuild our beloved party, we do so in a political environment that has changed much since the AFC was birthed in 2005. We have a fairly young electorate. Guyana is now an oil-producing nation with revenues that outstrip anything we have seen before. But while much has changed, too much remains the same. The 2025 election cycle shows clearly the urgent need for constitutional reform. Reports of the observer missions highlight the need for campaign financing legislation, an independent media landscape, and very importantly, changes at the Guyana Elections Commission. As a party, we will continue to advocate for these changes. While these are great times for the AFC, we see light on the horizon.
Co-founder of the Alliance for Change, Cameron from the Danda Party, was founded with Raphael Trotman and Sheila Holder. He says, grave times, his words, grave times. Light on the horizon, grave times. Finally, folks, finally, the question was put to the outgoing leader of the Alliance for Change, Mr. Nigel Hughes, Attorney-at-Law Nigel Hughes, about the reasons the party did so poorly in the last elections. And he responded. Take a look, and listen.
If you're the captain of the ship and the ship sinks, you're responsible. It doesn't matter whether the first mate didn't wake up or the groundsman, didn't serve the breakfast on time. You are responsible. And perhaps where I come from, it may not be, people are confused, but that's the reality of it. You don't barely lose a match. You either lose a match or win it. And in the legal profession, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But at the end of the day, the responsibility is mine. So it wasn't a question of factors, other than the fact that for the first time, the Alliance for Change does not have a parliamentary seat. And it clearly was a rejection of my leadership. So that is the factor. It's pure responsibility. And as I said to you before, I think it would be improper for me to comment until the party has had an opportunity to discuss it. And I think anything in relation to the reasons, Mr. Patterson or whoever he identifies should address that.
So Nigel Hughes there. And folks, I can talk a lot about that. A lot about that. But I will exercise some political discipline. Forward ever. Forward ever. Forward ever. That's going to do it for us today, folks. That's the time. Because we have so many of you in the broadcast. Lester Williams and John and Everett. Forward ever. Good to have Savage on it. Savage, I hope I answered you there. Savage, I hope I answered you there. Sonia Sargent, Marlon Thomas, Luan and Iban. Good to have all of you on the live. Cecilia and Guyana nowadays. Good to have had you too. You folks, 2,400 plus of you joined the broadcast on a Friday night. As we close September, 26th day of September. By the time I see you guys again, we're closer to the end of it. As we wrap up Heritage Month as well. Remember the Heritage Games are at Everest up until Sunday. Peep in, folks. Peep in. We got some wonderful folks there. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you, for the last week. Morning and night. Thank you so much. Edward and Denise and Sherwin and Jamal Anson Cortez. Denise, Edward, Suzette, family. Good to have you in the live, and Roxanne and Junior and Jollet and all the other folks. That's our time this evening, and that's our broadcast. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, folks. See you guys.